Alright, you're welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how to achieve the design that you can see on the shirt that we have here. Alright, so stay tuned. Alright, welcome to today's video. In this video I'm going to teach you guys how to make the design that we have in front of this shirt. Now the whole video, like you can see, is a pretty short video. The video is not about how to make the entire shirt. I have an entire playlist that I've called shirts that will teach you how to cut your shirt pattern, how to sew it, how to make a collar, how to make a placket, how to make a shirt sleeve. So the main focus would be how to go about creating making shirts that have multiple colors in front. You know, there are a lot of shirts like that nowadays where you have a splash of 3, 4, 5 colors in front. So this is going to show you how to go about such things if you ever come across it. So the first decision you have to make when you are making a shirt like this is you have to decide which of the colors would be your base color. So like the example we have here, there are we have three options. There's red, white, navy blue. There's red, white, and navy blue. So for me, I decided to go with white because white is what takes up most of the shirt. The red is on top and the blue is the other way. Also, this shirt, you're not going to be cutting and joining all the pieces back. That's going to end up looking rough. What we're going to do is I'm going to use the paper that we have here to show you how to draw out the lines. I'll cut it on my fabric, then I'll show you how to transfer it onto your fabric. But this pattern here, I've already made a video showing you guys how to draft a proper shirt pattern. You will need to cut two pieces. You need to know which side is your left and which side is your right. This is my left, the side that will be on top. This is the side that would have had the responsibility of holding a pocket if I was going to add any pockets to this. So yeah, let's get to it. Another thing, I have folded the underneath just how I would have folded my buttonhole allowance if I was going to be showing you guys how to put the button. So basically just fold it as if you are ready to sew. Don't leave any excess outside. All your excess should be folded underneath, and you should take just the right amount of allowance that you would take when you are sewing. So my base color is white, so the part we're going to be adding on top is the red and the blue. So now the first part we're going to tackle is the blue. The red is the easiest part of all of this. The red is going to be added on later on. So what I want you to do is, if you're making this for example, you need to have either a sketch or you need to have a picture if you are replicating what somebody has done before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come after the armhole here, after 2 inches, and I'm going to make a mark. Alright, then I'm going to come to the other side, because you can see that with the blue it comes from here, cuts across, and then lands somewhere around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come from here. I'm going to make a mark at around 13 inches, alright, 13 inches, and then I'm going to come away from that 13 inches by 2 inches, alright. See what I'm doing? It's very easy. At this point you can basically do whatever. So I'm going to draw from here to here, cuts across, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down by 2 inches, draw a line down by 2 inches. But for me, I want to give it a bit of, a razor's edge here. So I'm going to kick this side out like so, and then I'm going to connect it back here, taking it all the way down. Now what you want to do, I want this part here to be 12 inches long. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to make a mark as where 12 inches is, and then connect this line back to there. You have the freedom to design this however you want. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on how the red part is going to look. So as for the red is a big, it's going to be a big patch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply come, you see this is my shoulder here, according to the design that I'm working on. I'm going to come down by 2.5 inches, alright, and then I'm going to connect this line here to here, and the point here where I'm connecting it to is 3 inches after where I have my buttonhole. Make a mark we're going to draw a line from here all the way to here. Okay, you see that? And we're pretty much done. That's how the design is going to sit over the white. So when you've done that, you're going to take this out, and then you're going to continue your line. Now this is the part here that's going to sit under the zipper allowance. Also, you're going to need to open this up now. So now you need to open up your allowances that you kept and extend this line. Though this line will be folded underneath, you want it to have that continuity all the way to the back, so that once you fold it, there is no joining showing after in front of it. So basically complete all your lines. And then do the same thing on the other side. I want you to label everything, alright? And then I want you to cut it out. Okay, now after you cut it out, you want to keep these two pieces together. We know that this part here is for the right, so you want to keep them together so that you don't mix anything up. So you keep those two there together because they will end up on one side of the shirt. And then on this side, the same thing. So now it's time for us to transfer our patterns onto our fabric. What you're going to do now is I'm going to get the red. I'm starting with the left side of the shirt. Alright, so I'm going to keep this down, and you're going to need to add allowances to certain places. So on this part here, when we're working on the red, we're going to need to keep ½ inch at the bottom, okay? So we're going to need to keep ½ inch here and ½ inch here, alright? But the armhole, shoulder and all of that, we're not going to add any allowance to them. Alright, and after you've done that, as per this exact design, you're going to fold this ½ inch and iron. So the ½ inch you added here on this part here, we're going to iron it. Alright, and then we're going to place this on top. And after you've placed it down and everything is laying perfectly, the next thing I want you to do is you're going to need to use hemming gum to hold here down. So just a little, don't go and stuff it with hemming gum so that it doesn't get all murky and doesn't spoil it. So just measure whatever you need, cut a piece, tuck it underneath there and hold it to hold it in place. So after adding on the red, the next step is to use this part to cut whatever is going, the part that is meant to sit on top of this part like this. And if you notice, I did not hem the bottom part of this part here. That's because this part, by the time I cut it with the extra ½ inch, it's going to sit, supposed to sit exactly like so. Alright? Yeah, so let me go ahead. I'm going to use this part now to cut the blue. And if you notice, I am not adding any S-stay or gum stay or any sort of hardener to the fabric. That's because this is a shirt. You want it to be light. You don't want it to you don't want to make it heavy in any way, because you're already layering a lot of fabrics on one another. So you need to keep things a bit simple. So don't use any hardener of any sort. Just buy good quality cotton or linen that irons nicely. So I'm now going to cut this blue part here with ½ inch at the bottom and ½ inch at the top. I'm not going to add ½ inch to the back or to the front. So what I'm doing now is I'm using the pattern that I drafted first to serve as a guide, because you know we cut this pattern from one another, so we need to arrange them in such a way that the papers touch. So as soon as the papers touch, it means we've covered the right amount of allowance so that you don't end up pulling this blue down, because once you pull this blue down, it will affect the symmetry between this side and the other side. So you need everything to lock in properly. So use your paper, your original paper, to test and see that you are placing everything where they are supposed to be. And if everything is good on that front, we can go ahead and iron them together. And then the next part we're going to treat is this part here, where we have the red and the blue. I'm going to do the same thing I did for the other side. I'm going to add ½ inch of allowance here, only at the bottom for this part of the red. And on this part I'll add ½ inch here, ½ inch here, and ½ inch here. And after I do that, I'll be back. Alright, I'm now going to have taken care of the first part, that's the red part. I'm going to place it on top. I've also folded my ½ inch at the bottom inside already. On this part here, on this other part here, you need to fold it in, and then you want to take note of where the fold is. So like I've taught you before, you make a notch at the exact point where it's supposed to fold. That's the exact point where I would fold. And since this part here is the part that will hold the button, so this is the part that will go underneath the other one that will come on top, we know that this other part here is supposed to sit over this point by 1 inch. That's, you know, when you wear your shirt, the buttons go underneath, the buttonholes go on top. So this part here that goes underneath goes in by 1 inch. This is that part that goes in. So we're going to use this piece here that we folded already. That's the first piece that we did, to check that our fold is sitting perfectly. So what you will do is, you see this point here, you are going to come, that's this point where I made the notch for where the main fold on the edge is going to be. So we're going to put that over. By the time we balance it out, we can see that the red, we can see that it sits over it flawlessly. Alright, you can see that that sits on top of the other one flawlessly. So now that we've gauged it, everything seems okay, we can go ahead and iron. Everything is okay, we can go ahead and iron this one on with our hemming gun, because we know that at the end of the day everything is going to be perfect because we've checked it out. So let me iron it down, and then we'll balance out the bottom half together. Okay, so the last step, I've already done that. This is the one at the bottom. You can see I've placed it there, and then I place this one on top. Check and see that everything is perfect. You push it 1 inch after where the folded edge for the bottom one is going to be, and you can see it's all good. So I'm going to iron this on. After I iron it on, I'll head back to my sewing machine and stitch all these places down with the correct thread. Alright, so you can see here, I've gone ahead to finish the shirt, and you can see that we have the design that we're trying to achieve. Alright, so thank you. If you've watched this far, thank you so much. I will see you in the next video. Do have a lovely day. Bye bye.